So I had somebody ask me, why don't you just put a 12-volt outlet on the skid steer versus carrying the jackery around? It's like, that's on my list of things to do. So in the meantime, I had to have some sort of portable power supply for the 12-volt pump. I'm going 12-volt in that particular case because I want to be able to hook it up to a battery and be able to charge that by solar panels. And I know you can step up and down, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. So I was looking for a pump, again 12-volt, that had more volume per minute pumping capacity when I stumbled upon something different. So I found a Ryobi 18-volt transfer pump. Wasn't looking for it. I have Ryobi tools. You've all seen them. I have 18-volt batteries, so why not? I gave it a look, and the stats say 10 gallons per minute. We're going to test that out. It has a lifting capacity up to the pump of 15 feet, and then it has a pumping height of 51 feet. Maybe it's 12, but I remember the 51 being significant. We were discussing it earlier. It ends up being like 60, almost 70 feet worth of, or over 60 feet worth of transferability from the low end up to the pump, and then even higher, which is pretty interesting because elevation change from here up to the garden is just a little bit more than that. So we're gonna hook it up and pump some water out of the creek into the blue barrel to water plants. So the barrel is about 1/3 of the way full. So around here, look at the controls. Has an on-off, a speed, and then a timer to run in 5, 10, 15 minutes. I haven't looked at the details for the speed yet. I'll put some of this stuff up on the screen as I come back and do a recap. But a low, medium, and high speed. The 18-volt batteries in here came with a 2 amp hour. I put a 4 amp hour in because it was charged up and ready to go. It has standard water hose connections, and it has a filter that I have on the other end, which I'll show you from the stock footage. So there it is running. It's a little loud. It's a little loud. It's running. Got the hose coming down the creek. I got a bucket to catch, to kind of hold some water, and then it's got a little filter there on the end that the bucket is there primarily so it won't suck up stuff from the creek floor. It's only been running for a couple of minutes, and we're already past the 2/3 line on the... I'm having to hold the hose in because it's got that much pressure coming out of it. It won't push the hose out. So you can see how much water is trickling down the creek into the bucket, which is only a gallon. This is supposed to do 10 gallons a minute, so the bucket is staying full. I'm not entirely sure that I believe they are 10 gallons per minute at this moment, but maybe the quote-unquote filter is impeding it a bit. Not entirely sure. So we actually emptied the blue barrel, watering the corn. I'm about to fill it up again. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, tired, but I will run a stopwatch this time to see how long it takes. So everybody can get an idea of how accurate this thing works. I don't think it runs 10 gallons per minute because that would be 5 minutes and a half to fill 55 gallons. 8 minutes and 50 seconds. Not bad. Not as great as we'd hoped, but that's not. I think with the little 12-volt pump, we were spending upwards of an hour and it wouldn't necessarily be full. So pretty good return. And I'm not sure what the difference between yesterday and today was, but pumping out of the creek today, the flow was a lot more constant and steady. It didn't spit and sputter. I used a shorter inlet hose. We were closer to the creek. Maybe that helped. Not entirely sure. It's supposed to have a 15-foot lift. So even if we have a 25-foot piece of hose on there and it's only lifting 2 feet, it shouldn't have impacted it that much. One note to Ryobi. Y'all should know better. On the instructions for this thing, it says to run silicone lubricant the first time you run the pump. Just a couple of drops, not included. Why would it be that important and you would not include it? Doesn't make any sense. You put a little vial with 3 drops in it, cost a nickel. Charge me the nickel. Charge me a quarter extra in there. But nobody is going to have silicone oil or lubricant just laying around, and particularly in a, let's say, tense situation. So this is a transfer pump. They also make a sump pump. Sump pump's supposed to do, I think, 50 gallons a minute, runs off of an 18-volt, blah, blah, blah. I was more concerned with being able to have enough water to draw from without it going dry. We had a little 1-gallon bucket, so I didn't get the larger pump. So, but this transfer pump still being able to lift 15 feet if you have a flood type situation in your basement, let's just say, or you have a sink that gets stopped up and you need to, pump the water out of it. And having a battery powered option for this is a really nice idea. That way, because hey, if it does flood and the power goes out, you don't have to rely on something that's plugged up to the house. You could use this thing. It's a battery powered thing. But if this is the first time you're using it and you've got water pouring into your basement or out of your sink or washing machine or whatever it is, I don't think you, I, or anybody with any sense of reason, rational thought is going to stop, run to the hardware store if they're open, and if you're out of power, they may be out of power, to go buy silicone lube to put in this pump. Just include a small vial. We'll gladly pay for it. So probably not your typical application. We've got a little spray wand on there. We're running it on medium right now, and it is putting out some water. You can see the puddles. This is the corn we just planted. So I can turn it up and put it on high. It just gets louder. What do I think? I was pretty impressed. The tool, there is an option for a tool only, which nobody has, not online, not at Home Depot. Ryobi is primarily carried by Home Depot. So you get it with a 2 amp hour battery and a cheapy charger and a hose, and it's just a little bit more. It was a no-brainer just to go ahead and get it, because what we were doing was with the 12-volt pump just was very ineffective. So I can fill it, empty it, fill it, and empty it in less time than it was taking to fill it up once with the 12-volt pump. So we're quite a bit more, I'm not going to give you feedback. It's quite a bit more productive. The price seems reasonable. I like that fact that it's battery charged for those emergency type situations, and in hours when we're off grid and away from power. It does hold larger batteries. It comes with a 2 amp hour battery, but it will hold larger batteries. I put a 4 amp in there. I've got 6 amps floating around, and the cavity is large enough for any of those batteries. So that's a pretty good thing. Let's see. We covered the flow rate. It was impressive. I think on the second day when I used it, we had kind of worn in the impeller a bit so that it was actually pushing more water through. Initially, it was kind of chugging a bit, pushing the water out. It almost seemed like there was a bubble in there or something. Not really sure. The filter end was in the water. We put a rock on top of it so that it wouldn't float up. There was plenty of water in the bucket. So nothing really, it just didn't, the problem was not apparent, whatever that was. On the second day, like I said, I shortened the intake hose from a, I don't know, maybe it was a 12-foot piece of leftover water hose to a 6-foot piece. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but it was pumping much more steadily. Could have been a slightly larger inner diameter of the hose too. That might be it. The flow was a lot more steady. It was a lot more volume, and in the 8.5 minutes, it filled it up to the brim. So that was good. And then pumping from the tank with the same pump, you can put some water down. I mean, 10 gallons a minute, that's a fair amount of water. See, my wife was kind of spraying, well, literally spraying, but not holding it in one place for too terribly long, because that's a gallon plus every 6 seconds, so that adds up. It is fairly heavy duty. The base is detachable. It has a place for a set screw, but it doesn't come with a set screw. Ryobi, shame. The hose, well, it comes with a hose like this. I already had one out that was shorter. This one's only 4 feet. I just used what I had on me at the time versus unwinding this. The battery and the charger I've just set aside. Fairly decent weight. The base is set up so if the inlets are at the bottom, the plate sits this way, it slides down into the base, and the base has holes that you could screw into a surface, so you could mount it, and then you could slide the pump down into it, and it would hold it in place. I discovered that on the second day. That was kind of nice. Speeds, yay. Timer was a good thing. So if you want to let it only run for 5 or 10 minutes, you could walk away and it'd be fine. What was really cool, when we were pumping water out of the creek on the first day, the water in the creek is very cool, and as it's pulling water in, there was condensation on the fitting for the water hose. In our situation, the water coming through it is keeping the motor and the impeller fairly cool. No threat of overheating there. Overall impressed. A couple of recommendations include the silicone lubricant, put a set screw for the base, and that should make me and everybody else happy. Other than that, it's a great product. The sump pump that pumps at a much higher rate, no, it's only 20 gallons per minute. I thought it was higher than that, but it's got a 23-foot head, so it can lift 23 feet. It's intended to not lift as much as the transfer pump. It's just meant to pick the water up right there. I like having the wider range. I mean, it's beneficial. It's more. The increased gallons per minute, I think we're quite fine with where we are. Like I said, I was more concerned initially with having enough water in a vessel like the bucket so that I'm not sucking sand off the bottom of the creek, and being able to keep enough water in a bucket of that size at the flow rate of 10 or 20 gallons per minute. At 10 gallons was fine. 20 gallons probably would have been okay too. But again, I'm very happy with what I ended up with. So, not too bad. It fits our need. It's portable. We got plenty of batteries. And that sucker will burn through a battery. That 2 amp hour battery does not last. It might handle a fill, an empty, and a fill, and that would be about it. I do remember having to change batteries before we emptied the barrel the second time. So there was a fill, an empty, a fill, and then we had to change battery somewhere in there at the end. My wife thought she'd broke it. It just ran out of battery. Anyway, thanks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Too many hobbies, not enough time.
It's a theme song, y'all.